Hey, it's Arrow. I'm a poet, one that just happens to write in a forest. In 2015, I stepped into a very special collection of trees at the Billy Graham Library right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. While there, I did nothing but write. But they were never my words. They were always the lyrics from Billy's Forest. Nearly 2 years later, God spoke directly into my heart. He said it was time to grow beyond the library, to write within other collections of trees, mainly my own forest right here in South Charlotte, North Carolina. You see, in every place that I've written, the spirit of Billy's lyrics vibrate the purpose and plan that God has put into play. I never know what I'm going to write about when I enter any forest, which gives us plenty of time to talk about it in the end. Remember, these aren't my words. These are the lyrics from Billy's Forest. Chapter number 200, April 26th, 2020. The elegance of sunlight dancing across my writing page, while the trees within the forest help to purify the essence of how we're learning to handle truth. It's a daily diet of undigested experience. There's so much content and other shapes of what some feel is unusable information. Pacing ourselves like a collection of trees. It only seems like the movement is lesser than we expected until you step through the larger picture to take note of everything around us and how it's required to participate, including the selfish human that sees their strength as being the chief decision maker and processor. In the days ahead, life outside this forest will change beyond the storms any of these trees have ever faced. The human is making moves that far exceeds places we've once stood before, which is a feeling of being bigger than the virus that's known for killing. The decision makers faithfully walk in a direction toward accepting that the death of people that we don't know isn't more important than an economy facing a global depression. So in the end, who will win? It's a great question. In the end, who's going to win? Are you prepared for either side of that victory or loss? How are you actually making it right for every left-hand turn that you have made? Are we going around in circles? The one thing that I keep hearing from so many different people during this coronavirus social distancing is the fact that every day feels like the same day. It's no longer a Monday, a Tuesday, or a Wednesday. It's this day, it's that day. It was yesterday. It was, I don't know. We don't know where we're standing. And you've always got to ask that question. In the end, who will win? Now, as we've entered this 9th week of social distancing, where slowly, but surely, the states and the cities are getting back to an open situation. But it's still only phase 1, including this place where I stand, which is Charlotte, North Carolina. We're just starting phase 1. And then you can't help but sit back and watch and wonder about, in the end, who will win. I understand the economic conditions that we face if we don't make that move to phase 2 and phase 3. But in order to get to phase 3, where things really begin to open, we've got to become a community of believers in the way of saying, look, it's not going to go away until we can work together as one. And we can stop putting up those war zones and those lines in the sand of you think this is a conspiracy versus this is science versus this is God. There are so many different sides to this story that in the end, who is going to win? The entire globe is part of this process of, I don't want to say a new us. It's the process of continuation. Sure, there have been those television specials where they've said this is how COVID-19 came into play. There's been people that have been on TV as well that have said we now have research that shows that this was man-made. There are so many different stories. And the question is that which one are you allowing to be the one that infects you? Which is the one that allows you to be influenced? Who will win in the end? And how will you place yourself in this storyline? Because like it or not, you're part of it. You have your story, your journey, your personal experiences, and I have mine, and they may not coincide, but in the end, we all win. We all win because we all made choices, and we have to live with those choices. But how you deal the choices for everybody that will follow you, how they receive what it is that you learned during these 9 or 10 or 15, 25 weeks of social distancing is how it will affect them. I'm actually very motivated about the idea of how technology is going to grow in completely different directions, because in these 9 or so weeks, we have learned how to do what it is that we do in our everyday business world from home. It has kept us in a place and a position where it's like, you know what? Maybe home isn't always about comfort and security, but rather it's about business as well. There is a sense of less stress and less having to feel like that you are imprisoned by a corporate business when you are doing everything from home. And I hear a lot more people communicating rather than using their words to dominate others. There is a positive in this moment of stoppage. And if we can just take the time as a community to recognize the fact that we are different people, we all have different opinions, we will respect everybody else's opinions. But those lines in the sand that we have put in there so deep and that we're fighting for all over social media, we got to loosen those up a bit, and we've got to start working together with our total indifferences so that we can have a peaceful continuation of this story growing forward. Don't think of what is going on in your life right now. It's time to start putting your focus on your child's child. That's a big, big job on your shoulders. And it's up to you to make the right decisions today. I'm Errol. These aren't my words. These are the lyrics from Billy's Forest.